All right, I'd like to thank you for your patience. I am going to go ahead and begin the ArtsReady assessment webinar. Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. For those of you who are on the West Coast, welcome and thank you for joining us for the ArtsReady assessment webinar. Uh, my name is Omar Nelson, and I am the membership manager for ArtsReady here at South Arts. I will be the sole presenter for you today. However, I am joined by Ivan Shustak. Mr. Shustak is the South Arts Director of Communications and Development. He will be serving as our tech host for this webinar and can address any issues that you may run into during this training. Before we begin, I'd like to give you a few housekeeping notes. You saw the screen when you first logged in. To keep background noise to a minimum, please mute your phones, and I see that those of you who are logged in now have done that. Thank you. If you need to mute or unmute your phone, simply press *6 on your telephone or use the mute button feature, and that will work just as well. You can also use the chat window if you need to speak with Ivan or if you have any questions or technical difficulties, or you can call him at 404-874-7244, extension 29. If you need to step away from your desk, please don't put us on hold. If you have an incoming call, please don't answer it because that will give us your hold music and it will be a little bit difficult to continue with the webinar until you return. And we recommend you close any unnecessary programs on your computer to minimize buffering that can disturb your viewing experience. All right, so let's get started. Well, first, let me give you what our agenda is today. I'm going to give you an overview of ArtsReady and its history, a very brief overview, and I am going to then go right into the assessment training. It will be a live training with an active ArtsReady account so that we can demonstrate the steps that you need to go through with the assessment. And during that time, we'll also have what I would like to call sneak peeks into to-do items. Because the to-do items where you will spend most of your time building your emergency preparedness plan is so closely related to the assessments, it would be kind of difficult to give a training on the assessment side without showing you how it's related to the to-dos. And then after the training, we'll have a Q&A for the remainder of the time that we have allotted for this webinar. All right, so let's get started. A little bit about ArtsReady. ArtsReady is an online emergency preparedness platform and is a national initiative of South Arts. It was created following the onsets of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita disasters in 2005. Following those crises, the South Arts Board was compelled to do something to help arts organizations build continuity into their business. And we saw that 6 of the 9 states that South Arts served were on coastlines, and many of South Arts states are on Tornado Alley. So there was definitely a need to do something to help these organizations withstand the frequent events that were happening. At that same time, the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation was working with the University of California, Berkeley at developing an emergency preparedness plan for their campus. And while that plan worked well for administrative departments on the campus, it didn't work quite as well for arts departments on the campus. And it was at that time that the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation was aware of South Arts efforts in researching readiness for arts organization, and they connected us with UC Berkeley. The Andrew W. Mellon Foundation also funded the prototype that will become ArtsReady. Through the first years of ArtsReady study or emergency preparedness study by our board, they identified 2 primary things: that leaders in arts organizations weren't making emergency preparedness a priority, and also if they had made it a priority, many of them did not know where to start. So that's where a lot of advocacy came in, including from the Department of Cultural Affairs, and emergency preparedness and business continuity began to grow at that time and continues to grow today at becoming a priority within the industry. And in addition to the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation funding the prototype for ArtsReady, we've been grateful to have the NEA and the Doris Duke Foundation step up and fund the ArtsReady initiative and tool so that it is available to organizations nationwide. Because as we all know, crises can happen anywhere to anyone and at any time, and it could be of any size. So that's a brief overview of ArtsReady. Let's go into a live demonstration of the tool. Ivan, can you begin to set me up for that, please? All right, thanks, Ivan. All right, so what I'll do first is go into my ArtsReady account. Can everyone, is everyone in? Can everyone see my screen? I just want to make sure that we are there. All right, awesome.
Yes, we can see your screen, Omar.
Great, great, great. So let me go ahead and log into the account. All right, so upon entering my ArtsReady account, I am first taken to my dashboard. The dashboard provides some very beneficial pieces of information. The most beneficial to me is the status of where I am at with the development of my readiness plan using the ArtsReady platform. The development plan through ArtsReady, it's 4 stages. The first is the assessment stage, which we are training on today. The second is the to-do stage, and that is where you will spend the majority of your time developing your plan. There's also a stage where you will work on uploading items to your critical stuff file, and also the 4th stage is joining the Battle Buddy network. And again, today we're working on the assessment stage, that first stage. And we will have trainings on those other 3 stages throughout the year. As I begin to develop to-do items, which are primarily generated from the assessment, I will have my most urgent to-dos listed over here on the left-hand side, so that anytime I log into my account, I'm reminded of those important to-do items. There's one to-do item, only one, that is generated by the ArtsReady website and is given to every premium member, and many of you are probably aware of this, and that is the to-do item to add a second manager to your settings. And we're going to go ahead and do that in a moment so that we can add some functionality to this training. Over here on the right side, these are library feature articles. These articles are also on the ArtsReady main website and available for the public to view. However, unlike public visitors to our website and basic members to our websites, premium members such as yourself are able to upload articles, templates, documents to the ArtsReady library and have them posted on our features page to participate in the readiness movement and contribute to the communications and the discussion. That is a training that would take about 5 minutes that I can do one-on-one if either of you call me. It's what my job is here for. Also, if you were to go into the library tab here at the top of this scroll bar or this bar, it will take you to the library. You can click Need Help, and it will give you instructions on uploading documents to the ArtsReady library. All right, since I have not begun, as you can see, I have 0% of my assessment completed in to-dos. This green button here says Get Started. If I had begun my assessment, it would say Continue, and once I clicked it, it would take me to wherever I left off. So to officially begin this assessment, let's go ahead and click Get Started. And where I'm first taken, I like to call the pre-assessment assessment. A couple of things about the assessment. As you know, it gives the tool the opportunity to identify where you are in regards to being ready for a crisis of any size and any scope, and it also identifies where you are not at, how ready you are not, and then it begins to develop a plan for you to get ready. This assessment we've designed to initially take about an hour and to be done in one sitting. However, that is not written in stone. I know that has been some confusion. You don't want to begin to feel defeated if you haven't completed your assessment. If you need to come back after some time, or if you only can complete a few of the assessment questions at a time, that's perfectly fine. Just be consistent and continue to return to it and get it done. But we wanted to let you know that if you set an hour aside and you sit down and do it, you can get it done in that hour. Also, some of the information you'll need will be about finances and other internal procedures, so it's best if this questionnaire is completed by a leader of your organization. There'll be some important judgment calls that needs to be made throughout the assessment, and those decisions will lead to to-do items, and those to-do items will build your readiness plan. If any of your assessments in the beginning were answered incorrectly, then it might very well affect the outcome of some of the parts of your readiness plan through the ArtsReady tool. So we advise that you get someone in a high level within the organization who knows about every aspect of it to complete this assessment. Now, we don't know everything you need, although the ArtsReady tool is the ArtsReady tool is unique to the arts industry. We can only identify as much as we could, not everything about every individual arts organization. So there are unique features of certain organizations that we don't have covered. However, we have built flexibility into the online tool so that you can incorporate that and have it included and considered in your plan. And we'll
Omar,
go into examples. Yes, yes.
we do have a question from Stacy. She's wondering if you can go back and edit the assessment after complete.
That's a very good question, and I'm going to show you that later on. It is not as easy as going back and giving a different answer to your assessment. That is a little bit difficult. That's why we recommend that you take careful time with answering the questions. However, there is a way, once you get to the to-dos, to alter the level of readiness that you have, that you've indicated. Also, we've had some folks who wanted to know how can they reset the entire assessment. That is something that is automatically done 1 year after you begin your assessment and begin your setting up your readiness plan. However, there is a way to do it. It's a little bit tedious, and I'm going to show you that later on. It is possible to reset the assessment. Does that answer your question, Stacy? You're welcome. Thank you. All right, so again, about building flexibility into the assessment so that it can be custom made in regards to the scope and size of your particular organization. There's an example here on this pre-assessment assessment page, and if we look here on the left-hand side, these are 6 of the 9 critical functions, and we'll talk about those critical functions later. You have the option to opt out of 6 of the 9 critical functions. And this, let's say for the sake of this particular webinar, that my organization does not provide grants. By unchecking that box, I will not be asked assessment questions about grants operations. Okay, and I'll show you how that affects the assessment later, in a moment actually. So let's go ahead and begin the assessment. All right, so this is the readiness assessment page. The first thing that I want to notice here are these tabs across the top. These are the 9 critical functions. These critical functions are what the entire ArtsReady platform is built from. After years of study from business continuity experts, it has been strongly suggested that arts organizations do not begin to build readiness plans by focusing on every individual crisis that can occur, because of course that would be literally thousands. Instead, it's strongly recommended that arts organizations take an all hazards approach, and that is to look at some critical functions, and those are 9 identified critical functions that no matter what type of crisis or business interruption, you'll be covered if you address these 9 critical functions. So this is a theme that you will see throughout the ArtsReady platform, and it will be good to become very familiar with that. As you can see, under each critical function in the assessment, there's about 5 to 12 readiness statements. And these statements are actually telling you what readiness looks like in regards to this particular area of your business. So under tickets and messaging, readiness means your phones have call forwarding so that you can receive calls at another location. And again, there's anywhere between 5 and 12 of these under each of the 9 critical functions. Let's take a look at grant making, because if you recall, we unchecked that box and said that we do not offer grants. So all of the statements under grant making are shaded, although they are legible, so that in the event sometime through the year as you're developing your plan, you do begin to offer grants, you can reconsider that, any of those individual or all of those statements. Now, I'm not going to go into each of these critical functions under the assessment and answer them. I am going to do one, and that is facilities, because most of us, if not all of us, have facilities. And in taking a look at the first readiness statement, ready means you have a current evacuation plan, document, and posted. I want to go ahead and answer that. I want that to be part of my readiness plan. So as I answer that, I am prompted to answer a few other questions, and these additional questions are going to give me, in regards to this particular statement, how ready I am, so that it can develop a plan for me based around that answer. So what is my level of preparedness? I'm not ready. I don't have an evacuation plan, but I need to get one. It needs work. I have an evacuation plan, but it's not posted, or my staff does not know where they're all located. I am ready. I have a readiness plan. It's posted, documented, and everyone knows where it is. Or unknown. If I'm going through this assessment, I want to at least check unknown, because unknown, which means I don't know if I have an evacuation plan, or I don't know what evacuation plan is. Now, of course, that's not the case for this particular statement, but in going through all of the critical function statements, you may find one where you're not quite sure what that means. So clicking unknown will prompt a to-do item for you to learn about it, and then you can progress to the stages of actually getting it done. And we'll show you how that works later on also. If you need any additional information or insights about this particular statement, there is a help bubble, and if you hover over this help bubble, it's going to give you some additional detailed information about this particular statement. There's also links to documents and templates and articles on for this particular statement. And if I just go ahead and click this, for example, it's going to take me to where that link is located. And if I click that link, and that link is always going to be located on the ArtsReady website, and it takes me to an emergency evacuation procedures for the University of Indianapolis Theater Department. So this is a template that I can use to build my own ArtsReady, my own organization's evacuation plan from. I can take a look at it and match it up with one that I already have, and just to make sure that mine is thorough. Or I can just look at it if it was something that I did not know what the statement means. This can kind of verify, confirm what the ArtsReady tool is looking for. Okay, let's get back here. There's one other question that needs to be answered within this statement, and that is the level of priority for this particular statement, and the options are critical or non-critical. Also, if for some reason this statement is not relevant to your organization, although facilities is relevant, but that particular statement under facilities is not, you have the option to click not applicable. And just as we saw where the entire grant-making function was shaded out, just that particular statement would be shaded out, and again, it is eligible if you want to reconsider that later. So for this particular question, again, I'm going to go ahead and answer it. And I'm going to say I have an evacuation plan. It's posted, and all of my employees know about it. So I'm going to say that I'm ready and say that it is a critical priority, and I'm going to save that answer. All right, and I'm going to do 3 more and give them separate priority levels so that we can see how that translates to do items. I'm going to, for this one here, ready means volunteers and employees are trained in evacuation procedures. I'm going to say that that one needs a little bit of work, and it is a critical function. And I'll save that answer. For this third one, I'm going to say that I'm not ready at all. I don't have a facility preparation plan. If I have a warning for a crisis that's coming, I'm not ready for that, and that is critical. Save the answer. And the final one, I'm going to say that it's unknown, so we can see how that works. And just to add some variety, I'm going to say that that's not critical for my organization, and save the answer there. All right, so as you can see, I can breeze through these pretty quickly. And I have 9 critical functions with 5 to 12 questions. And once I'm done, it's going to provide for me a to-do list that is going to help me build my readiness plan through the ArtsReady tool. Here at the bottom of the assessment page, there's a function that allows you to do what we were talking about, and that's build flexibility into your ArtsReady plan, your readiness plan through ArtsReady. So say, for example, I rent out space or sublet space in my office, and I want that tenant to have the evacuation plan for the office. I can enter a to-do item here. Now this is a sneak peek. This is creating an actual to-do item where answering these questions are going to create a to-do item, but we don't see those to-do items yet. We're here, we are actually creating a to-do item. So let me open this bottom one so I can show you something. When I click ready, then it's going to create an action plan in my to-do list to review something. If I click not ready, it's going to create an action plan for me to start on something. If I click needs work on something, unknown, learn about something. So let's say for the sake of this organization that I am renting space out to in my office, I want to work on, and let's say providing with office and you can be a little bit more detailed in your descriptions, but this is just for the training purposes. This is a facilities function. Right now it's unassigned, but I can assign it to myself, and I can give it a due date. Say I want to do this by in a week. Click the 29th, I want to leave that as a critical function, and I add it. And now if you can see up here that it is confirmed that a to-do item was created. And I can't see it yet, but I will see it when we get over to the to-do list page. And we'll see along with that the to-do items that were created from these 4 assessment questions that we answered. So let's go ahead and go to the to-do page. And you can do that either by clicking View To-Do List, or you can go to the banner here at the top and click To Do. And the first thing that I notice again are these critical functions, and they correspond with the critical functions that was in the assessment. Here in the People Resources tab, there is that one to-do item that was automatically generated by the ArtsReady website for every member. And let's go ahead and complete this right now. So in order to complete that, we will go into Settings and click Our Team. And let's say I want to add back. And I want to make him a manager on this account also. Click add, and there he is. So I can return to the to-do items, and for this particular item, right now the details button is red. If I want to update that, I can click details. Here's all the information for that item. Click complete it, and save and return to list. And now that has been updated to I'm done with it, and that is part of my readiness plan, that I've completed, at least adding a new additional member to my ArtsReady tool. All right, so let's go into facilities and see those items that we worked on in the assessment. Here are the first 4 items that we worked on that were generated from the assessment questions that we answered, and the 1 item that we created in the add another item field function on that page. The first one, because I said that I was ready, it's just asking me to review this particular item. And although it's done, the ArtsReady tool wants to make certain that you've reviewed it and that it is definitely completed. So to review it, I can assign that to myself. I can give it a due date of today and leave it as critical, and then go into details. And again, I have all of the specifics here. I can change these due dates, change who it's assigned to. Here is where I will check it as completed. Let's say, for example, that I thought that I was completed or ready for that, but I really actually need to work on some more things. I can change it to work on, and set a new due date. Say I want to have it worked on by the 29th of a week from now, and I won't click complete it because I am not done with this function, but I could click save and return to list, and now that has changed to work on with a due date assigned to a certain person. Now let's say April 29th comes around and I'm done. I have it posted. I don't have to go back and put it on review. I can just go ahead and click complete it, click save and return, and now that particular function is dropped down to the bottom, and it's saying that I am done with the posting of the evacuation plans in my facility, et cetera, and that button has turned green. All right, so that is the majority of, and as you can see, we did quite a bit of a sneak peek into the to-do items, but I'm okay with that because it helps you with the quick, small part of the ArtsReady tool as far as time that will be taken, and that's the assessment. It gives you a vision of what that's going to do for you. For those of you who have not completed your assessment yet, and for those of you who have, it's just hopefully you have a better understanding of how things work here. There is one item that I want to go into because you can make this to-do list work for you. It's not all set in stone. Let's take a look at this Learn About action, and let's say I want to assign that to Ivan, and I want him to be able to come back to us on the 29th by that, and leave it as, let's say that we want to change that to critical. Go into the details. So Ivan on the 29th of April has taken care of at least researching, and I can add a little note here. So Ivan research and presented statement. And again, you can be more specific, but I can add that to the log, save that as a note. I can go ahead and now update that I want to work on this particular statement, and I can set it for a due date another week out, or I can set it for a month out, whatever. Please don't take what I'm doing here as what you should do. It can be as long as you need. Just remember that we give you about a year to complete everything. So let's say I set that out for another week, and I save and return it because I'm not completed. Now that has turned into a work on item. Now let's say May 6th comes around, Ivan's completed it. Again, I don't have to change this. I can just go ahead and click complete it and save and return. And that item that was once a learn item has now become an item that we have completed, and it's a part of our readiness plan. All right, so that is the the entire assessment training. What I do want to do is show Stacy how we can reset the assessment tool if necessary so that you can start over. And I know that your question was to go back and fix a question. Going back, as you can see, into facilities, we really can't change these here. However, what we can do is in order to reset the assessment, you have to archive it and then reassess. And in order to do that, once you start it, is you would have to shade out each and every item here for all of the critical functions. And once you do that, then it will give you the option to reassess. And that's because we want you to move forward. Stacy, we will talk about that more because there may be some additional features and ways to work around that. And with that question, I'm going to look into it a little bit further. But let me show you, let me log out of this account because I have another account that's in that stage that needed to be reset. Here. I think I got that right. All right, so this assessment was, well, it's showing as 100% completed because what I had to do here was go in and gray out each critical function, each statement under the critical function. And when that is done, then you can go ahead and archive and reassess the assessment, and that will allow you to start everything over. So that's a tedious way to have to get it done, but you know, we hope that in the process of going through the assessment, there is someone who understands the company very well and can answer those questions accurately. All right, so I know we went into a lot of sneak peeks on the to-dos, and I want you to know that there is a to-do webinar that will be held in either late May or early June, and announcements of that will be coming out soon, sometime in early May. Also, please feel free, for those of you who have not completed your assessment, or for those of you who have completed your assessment and you're stuck in the to-dos phases of this readiness planning tool, please feel free to give me a call. My job is to walk anyone one-on-one through any parts of the website that they may have difficulties with. And I haven't gone through the website in its entirety because I don't have an actual real account that has the necessity to do that, but I do have some knowledge about it, and I definitely have the ability to research anything and have an answer for you with anything. So please feel free to give me a call, send me an email, and I will respond promptly with an answer to your question about the tool, any aspect of the tool. All right, so what I'm going to do now is open this up for a Q&A. If there are any questions, please unmute your phone and state your name and ask the question. You can also type it in on the left side of the chat room. Remember, I'm the sole presenter here. I'll try and answer all questions with the amount of time we have. Looks like we have about 9 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, but if we need to stay on longer, I can push this to 3. But if there are any questions, especially questions that you type in the chat room, on the chat box, by the end of this week or early next week, I'll have an answer. So please feel free to chat with as many questions as you need, and we'll get through as many as we can. So I'd like to open this up for questions. Are there any questions about the assessment out there?
Hi, Omar.
Hey.
Hi, this is Chantel. Can you give us your contact information?
Yes, my direct telephone number is 404-201-7627. 7938. And I'm not sure if Ivan is typing that in now, but I can repeat it. There we go. All right. And my email address, Mr. Shusak is going to type that in for you now. There we go. Thanks, Ivan.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. See, Mr. Welch is typing. All righty. Okay, well, I hope this was very beneficial to you. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to give me a call at any time. Let me know what questions you have. Contact me, and we will work through. Thank you again for attending this ArtsReady Assessment webinar. Enjoy the rest of your day.